You name it, there's something for everyone here at Fringe, and everything has become a stage. Ginger's performing in a classroom. We met someone else who was performing in a cave. This truly is, as one guest earlier put it, the Olympic Games of Fringe festivals, and we're bringing you as much as we can here on BBC News. So do stay tuned and join us next hour.
Thanks so much.
Live from London, this is BBC News. In the last hour, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defends his plan to take over Gaza City. He says it's the best way to tackle the remaining Hamas strongholds.
Our goal is not to occupy Gaza. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas terrorists.
The UN Security Council warns the plan could endanger the lives of the remaining hostages and also worsen the humanitarian situation in Gaza.
This decision by the Israeli government will do nothing to secure the return of the hostages and risks further death and mass displacement of Palestinian civilians.
President Zelensky thanks European leaders for standing by Ukraine ahead of the summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. More than 500 arrests have been made in London following a demonstration in support of the banned Palestine Action Group. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, stands by the decision to proscribe the group.
And I'm Courtney Bembridge, live at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. I've just got some life advice from Auntie Ginger, and we've got more comedy for you coming up.
Hello, I'm Kylie Pentelow. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been defending his decision to expand his country's military operation in Gaza, which would include displacing about 1 million Palestinians living in and around Gaza City. Well, we are interrupting that to go to the UN Security Council, the emergency debate where the US representative is now speaking.
Has been working tirelessly to free the hostages.
That was Dorothy Shea there, the US ambassador, the US representative, to the UN Security Council. They're holding their emergency debate there. Let's go to Arinade now. Arinade Mukherjee, our North America correspondent. So we just heard those thoughts from the representative for the US. What did you make of what she was saying? Arinade, thank you for that update, and we will of course be following that emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. Now, foreign criminals will face immediate deportation after being handed a custodial sentence under plans announced by the UK government. Anyone who is sentenced and then deported will be barred from re-entering the UK. Courtney, thanks very much indeed, and we'll be back with Courtney in the next hour or so. We are following developments at the UN Security Council meeting. It's underway in New York. We are waiting to hear further speakers there, which we will come to as they happen. The UK requested the meeting alongside France, Slovenia, Denmark and Greece, and they gave a statement before that meeting took place. The ambassador, the UK's deputy permanent representative to the UN, says the UK urges the Israeli government to reverse its decision to expand its military offensive in Gaza. So we will be following that as we're hearing from more countries there. But for now, do stay with us here on BBC News. Live from London, this is BBC News. In the last few hours, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defends his plan to take over Gaza City. He says it's the best way to tackle the remaining Hamas strongholds.
Our goal is not to occupy Gaza. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas terrorists.
The UN Security Council warns the plan could endanger the lives of the remaining Israeli hostages and also worsen the humanitarian situation in Gaza.
This decision by the Israeli government will do nothing to secure the return of the hostages and risks further death and mass displacement of Palestinian civilians.
President Zelensky thanks European leaders for standing by Ukraine ahead of the summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Police say they arrested more than 500 people in London following a demonstration in support of the banned Palestine Action Group. The Home Secretary Yvette Cooper stands by the decision to proscribe the group.
And I'm Courtney Bembridge, bringing you all the action from the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Clowns, comedy, music, magic, we've got it all for you coming up.
Hello, I'm Kylie Pentelow. We start this hour with developments on the war in Gaza. In New York, the UN are currently holding an emergency meeting on Gaza. It comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been defending his decision to expand his country's military operation in Gaza, which would include displacing about 1 million Palestinians living in and around Gaza City. We're just taking you back to the emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, and let's hear from the Palestinian ambassador to the UN.
The grave situation in Gaza.
So that was the Israeli ambassador to the UN there, and just before he spoke, we heard the thoughts of the Palestinian ambassador as well. They are speaking at this emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council, which is underway in New York, and we are continuing to follow, of course, what happens there. Well, earlier we heard from Benjamin Netanyahu, and he said that it was a press conference that he held, and he said the Gaza City takeover that he's planning is the best way to end the war. Let's hear. Courtney, thank you so much, doing a great job for us there. Now, the last street vendor of newspapers in Paris is to be decorated by President Macron with the Order of Merit. That's one of France's highest honours. Ali Akbar, who's 72, has been selling copies of Le Monde in the neighbourhood of Saint-Germain since 1973. He's been recognised for his contribution to French culture, and very well deserved too. Do stay with us here on BBC News. Live from London, this is BBC News. Israel is condemned at an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council over its plan to invade Gaza City.
If these plans are implemented, they will likely trigger another calamity in Gaza, reverberating across the region.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defends the plan as he says it's the best way to tackle the remaining Hamas strongholds.
A civilian administration will be established in Gaza that will seek to live in peace with Israel. That's our plan for the day after Hamas.
President Zelensky thanks European leaders for standing by Ukraine ahead of the summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin.
And I'm Courtney Bembridge, live at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. We've just been lost in space with Elon Musk. Keep watching to see what we have next.
Hello, I'm Kylie Pentelow. Well, we start with developments in the Middle East. A top UN official has warned Israel's plan to invade Gaza City would open another horrific chapter in the war. In New York, the UN Security Council has been holding an emergency meeting on Gaza. The UK, Denmark, France, Greece and Slovenia called for the session after the Israeli Security Cabinet approved a plan in what it calls a takeover of Gaza City.
Fiona Trott, BBC News, Northumberland.
And what a beautiful place it looks. Do stay with us here on BBC News. This is BBC News, the headlines. The UN condemns Israel's plan to take military control of Gaza City, saying it could endanger the hostages and worsen the humanitarian situation. Benjamin Netanyahu says it's the best way to tackle the remaining Hamas strongholds. President Zelensky has thanked European leaders for standing by Ukraine in response to a joint statement of support. Kyiv's allies called for more pressure on Russia ahead of the summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Police have arrested more than 500 people at a rally in London supporting a banned pro-Palestinian group. Palestine Action was outlawed after activists broke into an RAF base in June and vandalised aircraft. The Edinburgh Fringe is officially underway with performances from almost 4,000 shows and more than 60 countries putting on theatre, comedy, circus and more. We'll bring you the best of the festival over the next few days. Hello, I'm Kylie Pentelow. I have the latest on all your sport throughout the next hour. But now, we'll have the latest on the news within the next hour. But now it's time for the sport with all the details even. I'll get it right in a minute. Here's Ben Croucher.
That's right, you do the news, Kylie. We'll do the sport. We'll keep it at that. Thank you very much. We will bring you up to speed with an intriguing, emotional Community Shield that went to penalties. We're going to tell you who's top of the Scottish Premiership. And no, it's not Celtic. You are up to date, as always. Lots more on the BBC Sport website, including reaction to Crystal Palace's victory over Liverpool in the Community Shield. That's bbc.co.uk/sport. We'll have more here on BBC News at 7:30. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Ben, thanks very much indeed. Now, here in the UK, an estimated 2,000 pro-Israel demonstrators have marched through central London to Downing Street to demand the release of hostages still being held by Hamas in Gaza. The procession, which was organised by the Jewish group Stop the Hate, was led by the UK's chief rabbi, Ephraim Mervis. Well, our correspondent Will Vernon was with them.
What a way to end our time here. So you are watching BBC News. We have just been speaking to the cast of Brown Girls Do It Too. You can see the poster behind us. Stay tuned, we'll have plenty more. You're on BBC.
Hello, thanks for joining me.